The Center for Research Evaluation and Assessment aims to provide evidence-based evaluations to stakeholders here in Southern Nevada and in the state of Nevada and even beyond the state. So when I say evidence-based evaluations, I mean any programs or policies these organizations have implemented, we aim to evaluate them to provide evidence as to whether or not they're working and how they can make improvements or adjustments. Well, one of the great things about CREA here on the campus of UNLV is that we employ a number of doctoral students. And so what I like to tell our clients is that when you provide research money for CREA to conduct these evaluations, you're actually providing scholarships for students. And so we try to let our students lead out as much as possible in our research efforts. And so we work collaboratively with our organizations. Typically up front we'll do some planning with whatever client we're working with to understand what are their needs and how can we design an evaluation to meet those needs. And then we'll set our doctoral students to work to give them hands-on research experience on conducting large-scale program and policy evaluations. And then of course, as director of CREA and my associate director, Dr. Tiberio Garza, we work behind the scenes to try to make sure everything's working smoothly and all the way to the drafting of that final research report to provide to our clients. Oh, tons of great research going on. So right now we are doing a program evaluation for Clark County School District. Anytime a school spends federal Title I funding on class size reduction, we are evaluating the efficacy of those efforts. So is that class size reduction achieving the intended impacts? We're also doing some great work with the Nevada Department of Education on Zoom Victory and SB 178 programs. Those were programs created around 2015 to provide tailored funding to schools to derive educational achievement. And so we are evaluating how those efforts are going and trying to understand what impact they're having. Well, so previously CREA did a lot of the faculty evaluation work here on campus, and so that was what CREA was initially known for. But since that's transitioned to a new office, we don't do that work anymore. So we are a university-wide center focused on, as I mentioned, program and policy evaluation. We are centered here in the College of Education, so much of our projects are focused on education programs and policy, but not solely. So we do work with other clients outside of education to perform program and policy evaluation work. Most of my personal research focused on teacher labor policy in the field of education, so I would certainly build out that work more, doing a national study in comparison of teacher collective bargaining policies or teacher state policies across the country to understand how those vary and shape education outcomes. That is the main focus of my personal research, but as CREA, our focus is much broader on education policy and program. Reach out to me as the director via email or to our CREA email, createam@unlv.edu. And what we end up doing is we schedule an initial meeting to discuss what your needs are, what your interests are. We do have students that volunteer with us who they might not be on an official graduate assistantship, but may want a little bit of experience. So we try to tailor those experiences to the needs of our students. So that's an opportunity as well. The best way to contact us is just reach out via email.